No, they didn't make it actually. They're probably gonna make it to the NIT though. But here, anyway, I'm gonna do this real quick. But well, actually, I'm already recording. Hey guys, how you doing? Sorry, I'm talking on the phone, but I wanted to make a video of what I think is gonna happen in the NCAA tournament. And as you can already see, I have Duke winning the national championship. But I'll tell you how we got to that point. Well, first of all, this got cut off, pissed me off. But let's start off with these games up here. These are the games that you have to win if you want to get into the actual tournament. Now, these guys are in the tournament, but that doesn't mean that they're going to make it into the actual tournament, into the starting 64 teams. So, let's start out. Mississippi Valley State's going to take on Western Kentucky, I believe, Thursday or Friday. Or no, not Thursday or Friday, the 13th or the 14th. And I have Mississippi Valley State winning that clearly because of their record. Because look, Western Kentucky won their conference. That's the only way they got in. 15-18. What the fuck? Anyway, then we got BYU, and I can't even pronounce that. Iona something. And I have BYU winning that game. BYU's a pretty good team. They haven't done the best this season. 25-8. That's still a pretty good record. Then we got Lamar and Vermont. 23-11, both teams. I have Vermont winning that game, simply because I think that they're the better team. Then we got California and South Florida. Now, this is a very interesting matchup to me because both of these teams have actually emerged as a pretty good team in the past couple of years. South Florida in both basketball and football. But I have California winning this game simply because look at their record. Anyway, let's start off with the bracket now. Now, all this stuff got cut off here, but I can pretty much work from there. Anyway, got Kentucky, and I chose Mississippi Valley State winning that game. Obviously, I picked Kentucky. Then we got Iowa State, I think, and UConn. And I have UConn winning that game. Then we got VCU and Indiana. Right? No. Wichita State and VCU. I have VCU winning that game. Then Indiana and New Mexico State, with Indiana winning that game. Then we got UNLV and Colorado. I picked UNLV because they've emerged as a pretty good team this year. Then we got South Dakota State and Baylor. South Dakota State, realistically, even if they would have made it past the first round, they wouldn't have a chance. I picked Baylor. Then we got Notre Dame and Xavier. I can't even pronounce that right. And I have Notre Dame winning that game because they beat Syracuse earlier this season. And then we got Duke. I don't even know that last team because it got cut off and I forgot. But I got Duke winning that game. And then we got Michigan State and UU Brooklyn. And obviously I picked Michigan State. Then I got Memphis and St. Louis. Picked Memphis simply because of, they seem like the better team right now. Then we got New Mexico and Long Beach State. Now, New Mexico in recent years have emerged as a pretty good team. So, I got UNM winning that game. And then Louisville and Davidson, I picked Louisville to win that game. Then we got Murray State and Colorado State. Murray State, look at their record, 30-1. That's pretty good. So, obviously, picking them. Then we got Marquette, and I picked BYU for that. And I got Marquette winning that game. Then we got Florida and Virginia. And this is where it got tricky. Because both Florida and Virginia are both good teams. But realistically, Virginia has had a better season than Florida. And Virginia has also had to play a few better opponents than Florida. So, I got Virginia winning that game. Then we got Missouri and Norfolk State. It's a no-brainer. Missouri's going to fly past Norfolk State and win that game. Okay, so let's go over here. We got Syracuse and UNC Asheville. I obviously picked Syracuse simply because they're the number 1 seed. And they've had a really good season, despite those 2 losses. Then you got Kansas State and Southern Miss. I got Kansas State winning that game because they're a pretty good team, And then I got Vanderbilt and Harvard. And here's once again where it got pretty tough. Vanderbilt beat Kentucky today. or it's past 12, so yesterday. But I got Harvard winning that game. Don't ask me why. I just got Harvard winning that game because I think that Vanderbilt is not as good as everybody thinks they should be. Then I got Wisconsin and Montana. I picked Wisconsin. You know. Then Cincinnati and Texas. I picked Texas because I think Cincinnati was a fluke against Syracuse, so I picked Texas, which I don't even know how Texas won. I didn't really follow them this year. Then we got Florida State and St. Bonaventure, I guess. And I got Florida State winning that game. Then we got Gonzaga, West Virginia. I got Gonzaga winning that game clearly because of their record. And they've had a pretty good season, which they have in the past few years. Then we got Ohio State and Loyola. And I got Ohio State pretty much obviously winning that game. Now we got North Carolina, and I picked Vermont, obviously. And UNC. I got UNC winning that game. Then we got Creighton and Alabama. Alabama's a pretty good team, so I got them. Then Temple and California, because I picked California here. And I think California will win this game. Temple, I just don't think that they're a good enough team to beat an emerging team. You know, this could be good in a few years. Then we got Michigan and Ohio. Now, the experts picked for Ohio to upset Michigan, mostly because of their three-point defense. But I got Michigan winning this game because they've had a pretty good season. Then we got San Diego State and NC State. I picked NC State because I think NC State's become a good team now. Then we got Georgetown and Belmont. Now, I originally did pick Belmont because Belmont's a pretty good team. But, all in all, I picked Georgetown. Then we go to St. Mary's and Purdue. I picked Purdue because Purdue is a pretty good team. You know, they've done pretty good. I think that they probably won't do much after that, though. But then we got Kansas and Detroit. I don't even know. And Kansas, I got Kansas. They've had a good season. They were disappointed because they didn't get a number 1 seed, which I don't understand that. So now let's go to the 32 teams that made it. We got Kentucky and UConn. I got Kentucky clearly because they're probably the best team right now. Then you got VCU and Indiana. I got VCU winning that game. I don't think Indiana will make much past the first round. And you got UNLV and Baylor. I think Baylor should win this game because UNLV, although they are good, I think that they won't be championship caliber till next year. Then we got Notre Dame and Duke. Now this is where it got tough because Notre Dame and Duke are both two good teams, but I got Duke winning this game because I just think that they're mentally and physically tougher than Notre Dame. Although Notre Dame had a huge upset this season, Duke can compete with North Carolina, which I don't think Notre Dame could do. And then I got Michigan State and Memphis. And Michigan State, obviously. And then we got UNM and Louisville. I got UNM winning this game. Because UNM, like I said, they're a great team. They've emerged as a good team in the past couple of years. Then we got Murray State and Marquette. I got Marquette winning this game. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking the wrong way here because Murray State's 30-1. I just think that Marquette will make it past this game. Then, here's where it got tough. Because Virginia is also, once again, a good team. And Missouri is a good team. And although I did pick Virginia to get past the first round against Florida, I don't think that they'll do much after that. Then we got Syracuse and Kansas State. And then Syracuse, Kansas State's a good team. I mean, I'm not sure exactly what they can do, but I don't think that they'll make it much past the first round. But hey, you made it to the 32 in my book, so that's pretty good. Then you got Harvard and Wisconsin. I picked Harvard simply because Wisconsin's a good team, but I don't think that they're going to be a championship caliber team this year. Then we got Texas and Florida State, and Florida State is a great team. They play in a really good conference. They've had to play Virginia. They've had to play Duke. They've had to play North Carolina. All these teams, and they've I'm not sure if they competed because I didn't really follow what they did this year, but I got them winning this game. Then we got Gonzaga and Ohio State. I got Ohio State winning this game simply because of their record and how good they've done this year. Then we got North Carolina and Alabama, and I think North Carolina will tear Alabama a new one in this game. Then we got California and Michigan. This was a tough one, but I had California to win this game. I don't know exactly why I did that, but I don't think that they'll do much after that. But I just think Michigan next year, they'll be a great team. Then NC State and Georgetown. Georgetown will win this game. NC State, although they are a good team, I think that they won't do anything after the first round. Then Purdue and Kansas. I picked Kansas simply because I don't think Purdue is a good enough team to beat Kansas. And that's enough on that topic. Now we got Kentucky and Duke. Now this is where it got tough. Duke has had to play North Carolina, beat them once, and then lost to them once, which, you know, the first game, I guess you could kind of say it was a fluke, but you don't know. I don't know. But I think Duke will win this game. You know, I don't know. But Michigan State then and Missouri. This will be a really interesting matchup if this does play out the way that I think it will. And Missouri, I got them winning this game because I just don't think Michigan State will do that good. You know, past that. Now we got over here, got Syracuse and Harvard. I think Syracuse will obviously win this game. Number 1 seed. Oh, lordy. We're on the wrong bracket. I mean, we're on the wrong thing. Kentucky and VCU, Kentucky. Baylor, Duke. Duke. Michigan State, UNM. Michigan State, UNM can't compete with Michigan State. Marquette, Missouri. Wrong side. Syracuse, Harvard. Syracuse, obviously, number 1 seed. FSU, Ohio State. I don't think FSU has a good enough team to beat Ohio State. I got Ohio State. Now you got North Carolina and California. North Carolina, number 1 seed. Great team. Then you got Georgetown and Kansas. I got Georgetown winning this game. And I don't know why. I don't think Kansas can beat Georgetown, though. In my personal opinion. Then we got Kentucky and Duke. I obviously told you Duke. Then I said why I thought Michigan State would win. Now we got Syracuse and Ohio State. I think Ohio State will be a breakout team in the tournament. So I think Ohio State will beat Syracuse. Then you got North Carolina and Georgetown. And then I got UNC. And now that's our championship teams. North Carolina, Duke. I think North Carolina, if they meet up with Duke, they will absolutely tear them up. I don't think Duke can compete with North Carolina now. Now, I'm going to tell you a scenario that I think could happen, which is, we're going to go with this, Florida and Virginia. Now, this is just going to change the whole thing around. Everything else is going to stay the same, but it's this particular game. If Virginia does beat Florida, goes and plays Missouri, that will be another interesting matchup, but Virginia just cannot compete. But if the long shot that they could, and pull off the upset, Missouri, and they could be, if Marquette makes it this far, I think they could beat Marquette, which would therefore put them in the final, or in the Elite Eight, but they will, I don't think they'll win against Michigan State, if they do make it that far. So, that's my bracket, bracketology came out today, saying everything, and thanks guys for watching.